This segment brought to you by the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center in Oakley.
A couple of weeks ago, a photo of a mountain lion carrying a porcupine that was taken in Kiowa County made the media rounds. And it was interesting because we always get a lot of comments on mountain lions and reported mountain lion sightings. But this got more comments about the porcupine and people who did not realize that the porcupine lived in Kansas. And for a lot of you lucky folks who've never encountered one, that's a pretty good thing. For folks like the farmers and ranchers who contend with porcupines on a fairly regular basis, or the veterinarians like Dr.Jake who've had countless dogs that they've had to take porcupine quills from, they've got pretty ample proof already that the porcupine is here. This is a really interesting creature, so let's take a look at that little porcupine. For today's wildlife segment, we turn to the annals of Fort Hays State University, which tells us that porcupines are large, slow-moving rodents that can be distinguished from other Kansas mammals by, number 1, a heavy body and relatively small head and ears, number 2, a thick, muscular tail, number 3, brownish to black underparts with light yellow guard hairs and yellow barbed spines tipped with black, loosely attached to the skin and concentrated on the rump and tail. Number 4, buffy and spineless underparts. Number 5, broad, orange-ish, maybe kind of red, incisors. And number 6, large feet with naked soles and strong, curved claws. Sexes are alike in color and size, and young ones are darker than adults. I think we would emphasize the yellow barbed spines, for which this rodent is so famous. Porcupines occur throughout Kansas, except perhaps in the southeastern portion of the state. Their sight is poor, but they evade enemies by taking a defensive posture, arching their back to expose their barbed spines and drawing their head partly under their body or forcing it into a protected area against rocks or logs. If a predator encounters a porcupine, the porcupine forcefully slaps its tail against the head of the predator, firmly embedding the spines in the face, lips, and mouth, where they gradually penetrate and may eventually cause the predator's death by starvation. They do not throw the quills. A porcupine's face and belly are the only vulnerable areas of its body, and clever predators can sometimes use this vulnerability to kill a porcupine. This is apparently an art that the mountain lion has perfected. Perhaps we don't see porcupines very often because they are mostly, but not exclusively, nocturnal. It does not hibernate, but in winter, when there is deep snow on the ground, it spends much of its time in the trees. Although porcupines are basically solitary, several sometimes share the same winter den. Winter home range is small, about 5 hectares, but in summer it is larger, up to 14. While in trees, the porcupine may feed on the inner bark. Yes, porcupines do climb trees, so be very, very careful when you're looking up during your walk in the woods. Welcome to the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in my hometown of Oakley, Kansas. We're the front door of Western Kansas, located on 3 main highways, I-70, US 83, and US 40. And all those roads lead to history, beautiful scenery, and adventure, no matter which direction you go. We now have an IHOP. That brand that you've trusted up and down the road in all your travels is staffed with local folks, real people, just like you and me, and we're waiting on you to join us. So for fun, adventure, fuel up, fuel your body, and let's have some fun.